Welcome to New York's number 2 sports show. The Giants have hired Shane Bowen to be their defensive coordinator. He recently was the DC with the Tennessee Titans from 2021 through last season, 2023. And before that, he was the Titans outside linebackers coach starting in 2018. So he came through when Mike Vrabel was named head coach and Vrabel was let go by Tennessee. Bowen was still there technically as the defensive coordinator until Denard Wilson was announced to be the Titans' new DC. And that was, I think, the top person of interest for the Giants to be their defensive coordinator. And then also Bobby Babich, who was with the Bills and was promoted to be their defensive coordinator. And obviously there's the Bills connection with Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. So I think there had been some thought that maybe the Giants would promote Jerome Henderson, who is their defensive backs coach. And there were some other names that were in the mix, but it will be Shane Bowen, who is young, 37 years old, and a bit of a fast riser within the ranks of the NFL. But the question with him is, obviously Mike Vrabel being the head coach of Tennessee and him having a defensive background, did Bowen have... was he in full control of the defense in Tennessee? With Bowen, look, I think that this is not a hire that's going to excite much. And, I think in a perfect world, Wink Martindale would have stayed with the Giants, but obviously there was a lot of tension between Daboll, Martindale, and it wasn't as if the Giants defense was anything overly tremendous the last couple of years, but I would definitely say they probably, if anything, did overachieve slightly. With Bowen, the Titans had a very, very good run defense. He had a top 5 run defense every year and had never been lower than 16th in points per game in his 3 seasons. This will be a 3-4 defense, as has been for a while now for the Giants. Not a whole lot of blitzing. I don't think we'll see it as much as we did with Wink Martindale. I do believe that there are some similarities in scheme. They will play mostly a man-to-man defense. Bowen, with the Titans in his 3 years, the red zone touchdown percentage, they had the best in 2023, only allowing 37.7% of touchdowns in the red zone, which was the best in the NFL. Also pretty good rates with third down conversions. So that's somewhat encouraging. But, we'll see what happens. Pass defense wasn't great, but, in part, a lot of that is game script dependent. And, the Titans have not had the greatest offenses or really the greatest teams the last couple of years. So it's tough to say, but it does seem as if their first half pass defense was a little bit better, meaning that maybe, when the game kind of, I don't know, the second half, may have skewed some things a little bit. But with Bowen, we'll see what happens. It seems like runs of 10 plus yards allowed for Tennessee under Bowen were also very good. Best in the NFL in 2021, third in 2022, and then this past season tied for 7th. But passes of 20 plus yards was worse than the NFL in 2022, middle of the pack this last year at 18. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, Dexter Lawrence is kind of a similar piece to Jeffrey Simmons, so there's some similarities there. And we'll see how this turns out. This is obviously a big hire for the Giants. It does appear as if Mike Kafka, I think we can basically safely say that he will be back as defensive coordinator, in the fact that they blocked him from having the ability to interview for that Seahawks offensive coordinator gig. And what I'll say with that is that if they care that much to keep him here, then you'd like to think that Daboll will let him call plays. It just would seem cruel to, not let him take that parallel job, but then also Daboll is the one that's doing the play calling. That wouldn't seem like the right approach, but we'll see what happens there. And overall, the Giants just need to improve the defensive personnel, whether it's Patrick Graham, Wink Martindale, Shane Bowen. They definitely need to improve in many ways. There are some good players in this defense. I would say that the defense has been better than the offense in recent seasons and even beyond that. But, they have to find a way to improve the edge room, to, The cornerback situation I think is a little bit questionable. There's some free agents that we'll see, like a Xavier McKinney comes to mind. Like, will he be back? So definitely a lot unknown at this point. But what we do know is that Shane Bowen is coming over from Tennessee, and don't be surprised if the Giants pluck away a little bit at some of the other Titans defensive coaches. There are, of course, still some, positions that are already in place coaching-wise for the Giants, but I do think that there will probably be some other moves made as well. So, again, the Giants hire Shane Bowen as their defensive coordinator.